My sister stole my work, created fake accounts impersonating my company, and forced me to seek legal action. I am a 25-year-old man who has been treated differently my entire life. Growing up as a twin was not the perfect experience social media often portrays. My sister was always the golden child, smart, charming, and effortlessly popular. I, on the other hand, was the quiet one, more interested in computers than social gatherings. From childhood, the pattern was clear. While she was praised, I was criticized. She received opportunities, while I was overlooked. Our parents never hid their favoritism. On our 16th birthday, they bought my sister a car, but I got a practical bus pass because, as they put it, you don't really go anywhere anyway. When we graduated high school, she was gifted a weekend trip to New York, while I received a $50 gift card from Best Buy. College was my chance to carve my own path. My sister attended our parents' alma mater with full financial support, including an apartment. Meanwhile, I went to a public university, relying on scholarships and a part-time job to cover expenses. My parents refused to help, insisting that I should learn responsibility. However, whenever my sister needed money, they would instantly send her funds through Venmo. Despite everything, I found my niche in college. I started freelancing as a video editor for content creators and quickly built a solid client base. My parents never bothered to ask about my work. They simply assumed I was wasting time on my computer. As graduation approached, I had no expectations, but what happened still caught me off guard. During a family dinner celebrating our final exams, my parents handed my sister an envelope. Inside was a confirmation for a luxury beachside vacation with first-class airfare, worth at least $15,000. Then they turned to me, nothing. Just a congrats on finishing and a pat on the shoulder. When I asked if they had anything for me, my father laughed. Your sister earned her trip, for years on the dean's list, and a job lined up at a friend's company. What have you done besides playing on your computer? My mother nodded. You should follow your sister's example instead of expecting handouts. My sister smirked, already preparing an Instagram post from the beach. I simply nodded. What was the point in arguing? This was just another reminder of what I had always known. 2 weeks later, they all left for Hawaii, with my parents accompanying my sister for the first week. I stayed behind, supposedly to look for a job, but in reality, I was about to execute the plan I had been working on. My freelance work paid much better than my parents realized. I had been saving diligently, living frugally, and now it was time to reward myself. I had my eye on a slightly used Mustang GT, black with red trim, in excellent condition with only 12,000 miles. I had test-driven it twice before graduation. The day after they left, I went to the dealership, finalized the deal, and drove my new car home. I parked it in the driveway, right where they couldn't miss it. When they returned from Hawaii, their reactions were priceless. My father, mid-sentence about my sister's snorkeling adventure, froze when he saw the car. What the hell is that? He demanded. My graduation present to myself, I replied calmly. My mother's eyes widened. You can't afford that. I smiled and handed them a folder containing the receipt for my full cash payment, along with statements of my freelance earnings over the past 2 years. Turns out playing on my computer is a marketable skill, I said. I've been working with a few content creators. That hobby paid for my car, my apartment security deposit, and I still have savings left. My sister, now suddenly interested, scrolled through my social media accounts. You edit for them? She asked, her tone shifting. My father was struggling to process everything. Why didn't you tell us? I answered honestly. You never asked. You never cared about my success. Only hers. The next few days were awkward. My mother tried to backtrack, claiming they had always believed in me. My father seemed torn, impressed by my earnings, yet annoyed that I had outshined them. My sister, now envious, suddenly wanted my industry contacts. I refused. You've already been handed everything, I told her. This is mine. As I left, my father gave me unsolicited advice. You should be careful with flashy purchases. You should have invested that money instead. I paused at the doorway and smirked. Funny, you didn't give my sister that advice when she went on her Hawaii trip. My parents' attitude shifted. My mother now calls regularly, asking about my career. My father wants to discuss investment strategies for my income. It's clear they realized I had financial resources they weren't aware of. Meanwhile, my sister's job at my father's friend's company didn't work out. She expected special treatment and, according to her manager, had an attitude problem. She was fired after 2 months. This created the perfect storm. My sister returned home, unemployed and resentful. My parents were embarrassed in front of their friends. Suddenly, I started receiving calls. Do you have any connections that might help your sister? Maybe she could help you with your video work, my mother suggested. She's very creative. I simply smiled. I emphasized that my clients hire me for technical skills that take years to master. My sister has never shown any interest in digital media or video editing. The day after our last argument, my father called. Your sister is struggling. Would it kill you to help her out? I reminded him of all the times I had struggled with no support. Remember when I couldn't afford my textbooks in sophomore year? You said it would build character. Things escalated at a family dinner when my sister proudly showed me her newly created digital media consulting page. I've been watching tutorials, she said. I could totally do what you do. I just need you to introduce me to some clients. When I refused, she accused me of sabotaging her career out of jealousy. My parents sided with her, saying I was being unnecessarily competitive. I explained that I had built my business through years of hard work and skill development, not family favors. As I was leaving, I overheard my mother suggest using their vacation fund to support my sister financially, the same money they claimed they couldn't touch when I needed help with college expenses. After that argument, I distanced myself from my family. I reduced interactions and skipped most family events, choosing instead to focus on growing my business. My efforts paid off. I secured a contract with a streaming platform to edit promotional content. The pay was excellent, and the work was both challenging and rewarding. Then, out of nowhere, my sister sent me a screenshot. She had applied for a job at the same streaming company, using my name as a reference, without even asking me. When I confronted her, she casually said, "But we're family, and I've been learning to edit by watching your old projects." Later, during a visit to my parents' house, I found out she had been going through my old hard drives, which contained years of backed-up client work. This was a serious breach of confidentiality. When I brought up my concerns, my parents dismissed them. "She's just trying to learn," my mother said. I packed up all my professional materials from my childhood bedroom. When my mother asked why, I replied, "Because I can't trust you to respect my boundaries." Soon after, I found out my sister had sent my past work to potential employers, barely modifying the clips from my portfolio and passing them off as her own. "That's theft," I said. My father brushed it off. "I'm sure it was just a misunderstanding." To protect my reputation, I called the companies she had applied to and explained the situation. The final straw came when my sister created business social media accounts almost identical to mine, claiming years of experience and even listing my clients as her own. After consulting a lawyer friend, I sent her a formal cease and desist letter. My family was furious. My mother said, "You're breaking up the family over some computer videos." My father threatened to disown me if I didn't withdraw the letter. I stood my ground. This isn't about family. This is about professional ethics. They eventually realized I wasn't going to back down. My sister deleted the fake accounts, and we agreed not to discuss work during family gatherings. Meanwhile, my streaming contract led to bigger opportunities. I moved from my apartment into a small house with a home office and even hired help to manage my growing clientele. Then one day, my father sent me a text. "Your mother and I have been thinking, maybe we misjudged your career path. We'd like to talk about investing in your business." I didn't reply. I never responded to my father's investment offer. Instead, I continued building my business independently. 2 months after their offer, their lawyer sent me an official business proposal. They wanted to invest $50,000 for 40% ownership of my company. They would have decision-making power over business operations. They even suggested creating a high-paying position for my sister as the communications director. I had my attorneys send a polite but firm refusal with the note, "No thanks. I prefer to earn things myself." Shortly after, my mother called, furious. "You embarrassed your father by rejecting his generous offer." Then, she let it slip. "We're just trying to secure your sister's future. She's still struggling to find her path." They didn't care about my business. They just wanted to use it as a safety net for my sister. The situation reached a boiling point at Thanksgiving. During dinner, my father made an announcement. "We're helping Junior here turn his video business into a true family enterprise." Before I could respond, my sister snapped, "You're just being selfish. You know I need this opportunity." I remained calm. "What you need to do is develop your own skills instead of expecting to take mine." The room fell silent. Then, unexpectedly, my grandmother spoke up. "He's right. You've favored her for years, and it hasn't done her any good." After dinner, my uncle pulled me aside and said, "I've watched this dynamic play out for years. Good on you for standing your ground." Since then, communication with my parents has been minimal. My sister moved to another state for a fresh start. A week ago, my father texted me a news article about the streaming platform's success, with the message, "I always knew you had potential." I didn't respond. Some relationships can't be repaired with empty words. Today, I've transformed my home office into a full studio. My business is thriving. More importantly, I've started seeing someone who appreciates my achievements rather than trying to claim them. The twin who is never good enough has built a life that speaks for itself. And in the end, that is the only validation that matters.